the fact that actually, we've got to a point where actually over half the population now live in cities. And I think the United Nations even predicted, it's going to get up to around 70%, in the next 30 years. There is, just a growing appreciation of how, we have to learn from the past and make, cities, as humane for people to live in as possible. And I think, part of that is really, a greater attention to the spaces in between buildings. I think in many ways, the spaces between buildings are more important to a city than the buildings themselves. It's the lifeblood of a city, and it's where, the life and vibrancy of a city comes from those spaces. So, even as a practice, we will always, when we're looking at designing public space, the focus is always, first of all, on organizational principles that will bring people to that space and make it full of life and create an environment where people actually want to be.
Public space is incredibly important. Urban space between buildings, and particularly if the buildings are co-located synergetically, there's going to be important that the spaces between allow you to choose and identify all the buildings in the vicinity. And I think the outdoor space could also be an activity space and should be activated. That's why I also am in favor of privatizing public space, to allow for that activation to be more intensified.
When it comes to the actual ingredients that make up the design of a public space, we do care a lot about durability. We do care a lot about how the aesthetics of the thing. And it's not necessarily about trying to specify something particularly expensive, but more about having a real clarity to how it's implemented within a space, I think. And that could range from railings to artwork even. And I think, more and more people understand that that's critical, that caring about those elements is critical to making a space successful and drawing people to it and making people want to be there. And that people wanting to be there is the most important part of it being successful in a way, because the people are the best insurance against anything bad that you might associate with a public space.
Urbanism used to be something with blue foam models. No, we would figure out the exact composition of everything, and then it would be frozen, and then you get the zoning law, and then it's done. But in this increasing speed that we have in developing things, and the progress of the world in general is going so fast that these super fixed models, they don't work anymore. No, there is really a need of creating more of a framework rather than a fixed building outline and a fixed public space. And you see that the more flexible urban plans are, and the more they focus on a framework and on qualities rather than on a complete development on you need to do it like this in 10 years. If you are really flexible, this is the part where you can be successful, where the qualities outlive the development in time.